He can go and cower in a corner, or he can show up and be lit on fire.
It doesn't look like she has the confidence within herself or the ability to take charge and lead this campaign. If she can't do that, how's she going to lead the United States of America?
It is showtime. Welcome to Street Politics. My name is Reese Waters. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the page. Well, of course I had to go with magic. It is showtime. Introducing in the red corner. He hails from Jamaica. No, that was a fake Jamaican accent. Okay, Jamaica, Queens? You're not even from Jamaica, Queens? Okay, from parts unknown, Congressman Byron Donalds. And in the blue corner, known for B6 and now V6, she is the original Houston Rocket on Capitol Hill, Jasmine Crockett. Our first question, will Donald Trump even show up?
No, but if he does show up, he is about to get his butt handed to him. So I'm here for it either way. He can go and cower in a corner, or he can show up and be lit on fire. Either way, I'm good.
Mr. Donalds.
Kamala Harris has hidden from the press because she cannot actually go toe-to-toe with reporters and the American people to question and go through her record. It is a radical record. It is a bad record for the American people. I think you're seeing the beginning of the end.
Mr. Donalds, I'm going to have to take off some points. You asserted that Kamala Harris was hiding from the press, when in fact the press is actually trying to hide Donald Trump. Fox News has actively decided not to take some of his rambling, incoherent press conferences. So dock some points for you right there.
And VP Harris has been criticized for leaving some gaps on policy detail, but do you get the sense she is saving those details for the September 10th debate?
Well, I know one detail and one response she is absolutely saving for the September 10th debate.
He suggested that you happened to turn black recently for political purposes, questioning a core part of your identity.
Yeah.
Any?
Same old tired playbook. Next question, please.
That's it?
That's it.
I was just playing. That was well played, though, Kamala. That was very well played. See, she's saving that smoke for the debate. I see you. I see you. One thing I've learned, don't think because I didn't drag you now means I won't drag you later.
Yeah, the debate where we don't know if he's going to show or not. Yes. Listen, I think that is something that the American people want to see. They want to see them side by side. You know, when you do the sit down interview, it's a very one-sided thing. We know that Trump will only go on Fox News. I encourage MSNBC to reach out to the Trump team and ask him if he will do a sit-down. We know that the vice president chose to do CNN, which a lot of people are like, how and why CNN? I have my thoughts, but I won't share them at this moment.
Oh, no. Please do share, Ms. Crockett. I would love to know. Let's get messy. Let's get messy.
Judge, what we are witnessing is what happens when you have a machine candidate, somebody that is picked by the Democratic machine. Every aspect of that machine wants to have their hands in this campaign. And to Miranda's point, it doesn't look like she has the confidence within herself or the ability to take charge and lead this campaign. If she can't do that, how's she going to lead the United States of America? Contrast that with Donald J. Trump. Judge, I can assure you, he's in charge of that campaign. Everybody has their job, but the buck stops with him. He makes the decisions, and they move forward.
Bonus points for Mr. Donalds. Absolutely. Not only is he in charge of the campaign, he's actually in charge of the entire party, because if it weren't for him installing Laura Trump as head of the RNC, we might have never gotten this.
Without your bravery, we're all out of luck. This can't be denied. You gotta be special.
Little known fact, that actually wasn't even the most embarrassing Trump family gaffe of the week. Kim Guilfoyle?
Let's taste it again on November 5th. Who's with me? All right. Good evening. America needs who? Say his name. Donald Trump. More than ever. We're out of the White House. Are you with me? To get this country back on track. Has witnessed in the world his resilience. And we lift the American worker. We will go to bed at night that feels unrecognizable. I'm here to tell you, don't lose hope. Americans from all walks of life have had enough of the Democrats' decline, and we are ready. We are willing, and we are able to spark a new era of American exceptionalism. You can clap for that.
But I will say that seeing the contrast is what the American people want to see. When they are asked specifically, what are you going to do for the middle class? What are you going to do about housing? I anticipate that you will hear from the vice president when she says, I understand that you're struggling. I understand that you can't buy a home. And while I can't set the interest rate as the president of the United States, what I can do is make sure that I push for legislation that will offer up to $25,000 for down payment assistance for those first-time home buyers. While Donald Trump doesn't have a plan beyond helping out those at the very top, which is why he's fighting to get back in, because those tax Trump cuts are that's what they were. They were Trump cuts. They are going to expire in 2025. And so we know that he and his very rich friends are now going to start to have to pay their fair share.
Mr. Donald, your rebuttal.
The debate, all the pressures on Kamala Harris, not Donald Trump. We know who Donald Trump is and what he's going to do. She has to demonstrate the stature, the competency, and then the ideas to be president of the United States. So I think you're going to see more out of this campaign as things trend downwards for Kamala Harris.
I'm going to have the docu-points right there, Byron Donalds. While you may assert that the pressure is on Kamala Harris because we know who Donald Trump is, this is who Donald Trump is.
Can you imagine you're a parent and your son leaves the house and you say, Jimmy, I love you so much. Go have a good day in school. And your son comes back with a brutal operation. Can you even imagine this? What the hell is wrong with our country?
So all she has to assert is that she's not this.
Can you imagine you're a parent and your son leaves the house and you say, Jimmy, I love you so much. Go have a good day in school. And your son comes back with a brutal operation. Can you even imagine this? What the hell is wrong with our country?
Did her campaign, when they said that they wanted to change the rules that they had agreed to, did they ask for notes? Did they ask for the debate?
They wanted notes.
They wanted to be seated, and they wanted your mic hot.
And they wanted a desk. They didn't want to do, I said, you got to do a stand-up.
After they already agreed to the other.
Yeah, but they wanted a desk from the beginning. You know who else wanted a desk? Sleepy Joe. He wanted it.
Congressman, I'm being rather facetious here, but why do you think she wanted notes? Why not a teleprompter?
Well, she wants notes because she can't remember the policy positions that she's talking about right now. Let's just be very clear. All the things that Kamala Harris is going out in the campaign trail and saying, why didn't she sponsor that when she was a member of the United States Senate? She's the #2 official in our government. How come she didn't have conversations with Joe Biden to get that stuff done right now? All these things are coming up because she wants to be president of the United States, not because she believes them, not because they're her core principles, her core ideas.
Okay, now, first of all, Byron Donalds, who's your friend? Why you bring a +1? The dude with the English accent. This don't even involve him. Get security. Tell him to get out. Now, as far as your argument that would make sense as her being vice president. Why didn't she institute some of those policies if your candidate wasn't literally president? Oh, Ms. Crockett wants to take it. Okay, you got it.
Here's something else. This is from NBC's Yamiche Alcindor, who reports the vice president's debate plan is to keep calm and get under Trump's skin. And among the issues the VP might raise are Trump's failure to get Mexico to pay for the wall, his COVID response, his failure to come up with an Affordable Care Act alternative, his failure to pass a sweeping infrastructure bill, and the critical role that he played in killing a bipartisan border bill. So what's behind the Harris strategy on this?
Yeah, I think that she wants to appear as if she is the adult in the room, and she is. What we will see is this whining child who will sit there and won't give direct answers, and honestly will distract and be a bumbling fool. We've seen it on the trail when he starts talking about, wind, and he starts complaining about sharks. I mean, the guy is really weird and off his rocker. And so I think that she really wants to, number one, assure the American people that she has a grasp on the issues, as well as remind them of why we kicked him out in the first place, and remind them as to why we don't want to go back. Because right now it's been a glorification, but people aren't talking about those freezer trucks that had deceased bodies sitting in them because he botched COVID-19. We're not talking about the millions of people that died. We're not talking about the reason that small businesses had to shut down was because he failed to acknowledge that we even had a pandemic going on and that he was telling people to inject themselves with bleach. What they don't want to talk about is how they lost all these jobs, or the fact that we went $8 trillion into debt in one term under Trump, because it was never about the rest of us. It was always about him and his friends. And so I think that the contrast will be clear, that she can remain cool in all situations, but also she will get to the facts.
Mr. Donalds, your eyebrows are on fire right now. I don't know if you want to address that or if you would like to rebut first. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Apparently that was Beijing.
Her child tax credit plan that she has is the same one they stuck in the American Rescue Plan, which created the labor shortage, which unleashed this inflation back in 2021. She already broke the economy once. America, please don't let Kamala Harris break it again.
Ooh, I am so sorry, Mr. Donalds. We actually cannot accept your answer when it comes to the economy, or anything from you when it comes to the economy. Some new information has just come to light. Is this what you mean by break the economy? Huh? Break the economy? You mean like this? We won't be hearing from you on the economy again. By the way, send me an email if you think that deserves its own video. Reese@reesewaters.com.
The reason why Kamala Harris wants to change the rules now to have open microphones is because she wants to interrupt Donald Trump. She wants to be able to create a spectacle out of this debate, which would prevent her from actually being forced to discuss public policy, discuss her positions in detail.
I'm sorry. Didn't you just previously assert that she didn't have the confidence, right? Didn't you say she seemed small, she didn't have the confidence? But now she wants to interrupt Donald Trump. So Donald Trump needs the microphones to be muted in order to protect him from Kamala Harris going at him, but yet she's the one that doesn't have the confidence and seems small. Are you hearing yourself? Because we hear you. Are you hearing yourself?
She wants to create some sort of moment, some sort of YouTube spectacle that can be replayed so she can hide behind the debate as opposed to talking about the policies that impact the American people.
Oh, she wants to create a YouTube moment, like a social media thing. Like if she were to cozy up to the owner of a social media platform and promise him a cabinet position if he's elected, like something like that.
Boeing had a little, I shouldn't say there's a beautiful Boeing plane there, but Boeing had a little hard time, as you heard. So they're going to save, Leon's going to send up a rocket he looks forward to it. That's all he thinks about is things like that.
I know Elon Musk gotta love that.
She wants to be able to create this moment where she owns Donald Trump for 10 seconds. That's just ridiculous. It's not what matters in our country. Donald Trump has debated everybody from Hillary Clinton to Joe Biden, all points in between. He can definitely debate Kamala Harris, but it is in the interest of the American people that Kamala Harris is not allowed to make this debate a spectacle. It has to be about the issues facing America, because she has serious questions that she refuses to answer. And the way they're campaigning, the only way the American people will get a straight answer about her policy positions and the thought process behind them, and that's very important, the thought process behind them, is if she actually has a very clear debate with Donald Trump where both people have an opportunity to express themselves without being interrupted, whether it be by the moderators or by the opposing person. Kamala Harris wants a spectacle. She doesn't want a debate on issues.
So if I'm following your logic, we need to have the muted microphones so that each candidate can express themselves without being interrupted, yet we need to make sure that she's pressed and has to express some of her policy views. But if she's able to talk without being interrupted, she can say whatever the hell she wants. Are you hearing yourself? I'm just trying to make sure, because there might be some audio issues. I know Trump likes to claim he has audio issues when he don't want to answer the question. I'm trying to, are you hearing yourself? Okay, well, how is your command of the English language?
Let's agree on something. I am, obviously one of the better communicators in the Republican Party. I know how to put words together. I do it very, very often.
Let's be brutally honest. If you took a survey of the Republican conference on Capitol Hill and said, would you prefer Trump to play golf for the rest of the campaign and let his campaign drive the message, or have Donald Trump do events, we all know which they'd prefer. Is he right?
Absolutely. Let him go play golf. Every time he opens his mouth, the truth comes out, and the truth is not a pretty thing. The truth is tied to the agenda of Project 2025. The truth is tied to his history as it relates to discriminating against people of color when it came to housing, or when it came down to how he wanted the Central Park 5 hung. The truth only hurts him. So, yeah, they want him to shut up and allow them to kind of continue on so that they can continue to deceive people into believing that these two candidates both have something wonderful to offer this country, when we know that there's only one candidate that is qualified and only one candidate that is interested in moving our country forward instead of moving us back to the Jim Crow era of the 1950s and 60s.
Wow, Ms. Crockett has just gone all in. Mr. Donalds, in order for us to continue this undercard or rule this a knockout in favor of Ms. Crockett, I'm going to need you to answer this question. And yes, her microphone will be muted. I'm going to need you to answer this question. Would you rather Trump be doing this debate or be at home at Mar-a-Lago in his basement on True Social tweeting nonsense that the mainstream media will ignore? I know. Yeah, I know. While I can't blame you because, well...
So if I don't win Colorado, it will be taken over by migrants and the governor will be sent fleeing, because the people of Colorado should really do something that would be a classic. They should do a major protest vote in favor of Trump to reject the threat to democracy that they caused by an attempt at ballot removal. The black population and the Hispanic population are being decimated by these people coming in unchecked, unbalanced. They're coming in and they're taking the black population and the Hispanic population jobs. And next is going to be unions. You watch the unions suffer.
And that was just from one weekend. The fact that you would rather him stay in his own basement than open his mouth for the open public means I have to rule in favor of Ms. Crockett. That is a whole knockout. In addition to the fact that Trump himself doesn't believe any of the things that you were saying because he's already trying to lower expectations.
I'm going into very hostile territory shortly on a debate with ABC, George Slopadopoulos and that group. And ABC, I think, is the worst of everybody. I think they're the worst. They're the nastiest. They're as bad as you can be. They're worse than NBC, which is saying a lot. And we have something coming. And the reason I'm doing it is because that's the only one that she would do it with, because her best friend is the head of ABC or ABC News, and her husband's best friend is married to that one. So, and Donna Brazile is there. You remember the famous Donna Brazile? She gave Hillary Clinton the questions. You remember that? That was a little embarrassing. She got fired, I assume, for that. But now she's working at ABC.
And at the end of the day, if Kamala Harris is ever in trouble, I got 2 words for you. Childcare.
If you win in November, can you commit to prioritizing legislation to make childcare affordable? And if so, what specific piece of legislation will you advance?
Well, I would do that, and we're sitting down. You know, I was somebody, we had Senator Marco Rubio, and my daughter Ivanka was so impactful on that issue. It's a very important issue. But I think when you talk about the kind of numbers that I'm talking about, that, because look, childcare is childcare. It's, couldn't, you know, there's something, you have to have it. In this country, you have to have it. But when you talk about those numbers compared to the kind of numbers that I'm talking about by taxing foreign nations at levels that they're not used to, but they'll get used to it very quickly. And it's not going to stop them from doing business with us, but they'll have a very substantial tax when they send product into our country. Those numbers are so much bigger than any numbers that we're talking about, including childcare, that it's going to take care. We're going to have, I look forward to having no deficits within a fairly short period of time, coupled with the reductions that I told you about on waste and fraud and all of the other things that are going on in our country. Because I have to stay with childcare. I want to stay with childcare, but those numbers are small relative to the kind of economic numbers that I'm talking about, including growth, but growth also headed up by what the plan is that I just told you about. We're going to be taking in trillions of dollars, and as much as childcare is talked about as being expensive, it's relatively speaking not very expensive compared to the kind of numbers we'll be taking in. We're going to make this into an incredible country that can afford to take care of its people, and then we'll worry about the rest of the world. Let's help other people. But we're going to take care of our country first. This is about America first. It's about make America great again. We have to do it.
Oh, we ready. Kamala, are you ready?
Are you ready, Madam Vice President?
Ready.
Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and especially those of you that have liked and subscribed to the page. Did y'all know I had a website? I know, it's so kind of old-fashioned these days. Yes, I have a website, reeswaters.com. There you'll find my most recent work, but also my past work if you want to know a little bit more about me. You'll also find a portal where you could sign up for my newsletter. You could also sign up by sending me an email at reese@reeswaters.com. You could also send me any suggestions for ideas, something I need to take a look at, or you just want to say hello. And by the way, if you go to the website now, you'll find a little something special. That's right, we got merch. There's mugs there, there's t-shirts there, there's hats there, repping street politics, troubled waters, and of course, Racist of the Week. Where would we be without Racist of the Week? I don't know that I would have any content.